He's back!
If you could feel the excitement in my bones right now, you would understand how great of a moment this is. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, aka Ant, just came off one of the greatest playoff performances we've seen from a young guard in a long time, getting off of a 40-point game to send the Phoenix Suns home in a good old sweep to a 43-point game to beat the Denver Nuggets. Now, for those of you who are fans of the channel for a long time, you will know I am a Nikola Jokic hater. So seeing what I saw,
Nice.
God, oh, it's beautiful. But what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10, and what I've got for you today is some NBA 2K24 Next Gen. Now, did you miss me? Because we have been gone for a while, but hey, it is what it is. Figured the best way to come back was to make a build for the guy who's the future face of the NBA, even though despite what everybody's saying, when I really think about it, he might not settle the GOAT debate. But it is what it is. Now, as most of you know, Anthony Edwards is the starting shooting guard, right-handed jersey number 5, formerly jersey number 1 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. In my personal opinion, him or SGA should have won the MVP, but everybody's saying it's either going to Luka, it's most likely going to Luka, which I personally feel is a little bit of bias, but hey, it is what it is. I don't get to vote on the thing, but hey, it belongs to either him or Shea because what they did with their teams, yeah. Anyway, as I said, starting shooting guard, he does come in at 6'4" while weighing about 225 pounds with a 6'9" wingspan. If you feel these metrics aren't correct, double check because I used the NBA 2K template for these measurements in order to ensure that I was right, but I didn't use it for the attributes because, hey, it is what it is. Now, starting off with the build, the very first thing we're going to get into is actually, before we get into anything, as this is the first video back after what I believe about 3 to 4 months, and the last thing we posted was related to the Phoenix Suns before they got swept, I insist you hit that like button down below. Let's at least get 20 likes on this video, just so you know I feel a little bit special, feel like you guys didn't miss me and you want me back. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as turning post notifications on. And of course, do me a favor, in the comment section down below, go ahead and criticize this build in any which way you want. I will be responding to a bunch of you, and to some of you, I won't be, but just know in the back of my head, I'm saying some stuff about you. But yeah, getting straight into the build, as we said, physically wise, we decided to max out the stamina at a 99 because with how much this man does, you need all the stamina you can get because this build is nasty. Next thing you want is an 85 on the vertical, which of course allows you to get the pro contact dunks off too, and also allows you to get the small contact dunks because you do meet the height requirement and you will meet the dunk requirement. The only thing I will say is you don't get the, I believe you don't get the elite contact, you don't get the elite contact dunks at all, I'll tell you that for now. But I believe you also maybe don't get pro contacts off one, I'm not too certain, you'll have to check with the dunk requirements. But hey, it is what it is, as long as you got the smalls as well as the pro off too, trust me, you can do a lot, and if you can time your dunk meter, you know what I'm saying, you can do a lot more. Strength-wise, we went up to a 63. This was mainly to do with the finishing and the defense because we want this build to be a bit of a two-way, and we also wanted to be able to finish at the cup when laying up or dunking, in which case, if you want that fearless finish at least the silver, you do need a 63 on the strength. Speed and excel-wise, I decided to go with an 82 on the speed because it allows us a few more badges that we need, and the 75 on the excel just because you need it, but you don't need it too tough to be mean with this build. Now, getting into the first part of Ant's gameplay that everybody knows and loves so well, it's his finishing. As most of you know, we have seen him put people on some of the nastiest posters ever. From John Collins to recently, he put his own GOAT, his favorite player, KD, in one. So out of respect for that, we decided to go with an 89 on the driving dunk. Now, I do know some of you will say, why didn't you go with like a 92 or maybe like a 90? Actually, originally I did go with a 90. I'm gonna have to tweak some things around, but we went with a 90 because this does mean we get, of course, gold precision dunker, which would be kind of nice. It improves our player's ability to make skill dunks, which you will need with Ant-Man. And of course, you get gold bunny paired up with gold aerial wizard and unfortunately only silver posterizer. I didn't go for gold posterizer mainly because this build has to do a lot more than just dunking. I didn't want to just make this is a slashing finishing build because as we've seen in the playoffs, he can get at you by attacking the rim, playing out the post. The mid-range jump shot is nice, and even though the 3-ball isn't the best in the world, it's consistent enough where you got to step out to it. Now, the next thing we messed with finishing wise was the driving layup, where we decided to go with an 80 on the driving layup, leaving our close shot at a 55. As I said before, the 63 strength was to ensure that we got silver fearless. We also do manage to get gold giant slayer on this build, which at 6'4" is highly needed just because it means you can use it against most builds as they're 6'6" and above. Silver slithery, silver acrobat, and of course gold bunny, gold float game, Hall of Fame pro touch, scooper, and of course whistle, and the rest that you saw before. Now, the last thing we tweaked with finishing-wise was the post control, because if you saw how he finished the Denver Nuggets with a nice little dagger, he managed to hit a nice little post fade, getting away from KCP, which is why we decided to go with a 75 when it came to the post control. Sorry, 75 when it came to the post control, mainly because once we upgrade the shooting, you will notice this gets us gold post fade phenom, alongside, of course, silver post spin technician, drop stepper, and of course, bronze unpluckable. Now, upgrading first thing first, the mid-range jump shot, we went up to an 84 just so we could get most of the necessary badges. As I said, it does allow us to get that gold post fade phenom, but it also means that we can get gold midi magician, come back in and guard up, which again, Ant-Man, well known for his ability to create shots, especially at mid-range. And then on the 3-ball, we decided to go with a 76 just because it is a weak point of his game that he willingly knows. I remember at one point he was shooting 2 for 19 for a streak. And if you look at his most recent games, he's shooting kind of well, but he's had a lot of slumps recently as well. Now, free throw wise, as per usual, we got to put it up to a decent amount so that when you take this build into the rec of the Pro-Am, you're able to knock down your free throws. So we went with a 71 just so you could get that bronze free points, which increases a player's chance of hitting free throws in clutch situations, which, as we know, he does. Now, that rounds up the shooting, which obviously doesn't make the build elite, but if you are good with the sticks, you will be able to knock down a bunch of your jump shots, mainly because you'll be in catch and shoot situations when it comes to the 3, with the ability, of course, with the bronze agent 3s to create off the dribble. And then with the 84 mid-range, you'll be able to knock down as much as you want from midi. Now, playmaking wise, we decided to go with an 85 when it came to the ball handle because it allows us most dribble packages that we need. And then we went with a 77 when it came to the speed of the ball. Now, I do know some of you might tweak the playmaking and increase it to about an 87 just so you can get some of your dribble animations that you do want. But this is how I originally set it up, and as I said before, you can easily tweak this build to best suit you. 77 on the pass accuracy, just because I always do like to get that bronze needle threader for the sake of, I do like to increase the likelihood that tough passes can get by the defense. Now, defensively, as I said, this boy's been called, everybody's calling him Michael Jordan's son. And as we all know about MJ was a two-way player. So I had to make sure that his son, even though it's not his biological son, was also a two-way player in himself. First thing being first, you got to go with an 85 when it comes to perimeter defense, because again, that does allow you to get that silver clamps. And then when it comes to the steal, I went with a 73 on the steal. Now, the key reason, actually I went with a 72. God, hold up, I got a tweak set. Oh, I know what it was. This is why we put the dunk down to an 89, removing the gold precision dunker, because we wanted to go with a 72 when it came to the steal. We also wanted to put a 50 when it came to the block, mainly because we wanted to have the ability to contest shots when it really comes down to it. And then obviously we don't have enough attributes to really get what we want when it comes to the... Hold up, let me tweak a few things. I might be able to get his precision dunker back here. 81. Damn, how much I gotta strip off? Yeah! Hold up, wait a minute. 90. Alright. I wanted that triple. Alright, cool. There we've tweaked the build. We're gonna have to remove this free throw down to a 68, as well as moving the stamina down to a 95, which obviously allows us to get the gold precision dunk, whilst also allowing us the capabilities of getting a 50 block, which I personally wanted just for the ability to contest shots. And then obviously we end up with a defensive rebound of a 40 due to a high perimeter defense, as well as the steal being at a 72. Now looking at it, as you can see, the build appears to be somewhat of an all-around build in the fact of you can drive at the cup and finish with elite finishing. You've got decent enough shooting whereby you're a threat from outside the perimeter. And then, of course, with the playmaking, you are able to get by defenders one-on-one, but you're also able to move the ball around if you really want to. And then defensively at the perimeter, you are somewhat of a lock in being able to stay in front of people. And then with the speed and excel, it's not the greatest, but it's enough for you to really contest. And obviously, high strength, high vertical, and decent stamina means you can do a lot. Now, the players that we managed to get in the shades of for this build happen to be none other than, firstly, J.R. Smith, Jalen Green, and Dante DiVincenzo. And the name of the build is, of course, an inside the arc threat. Key reason being, the 3 ball's only at a 76. In my personal opinion, it should be something along the lines of a two-way shot creator, but hey, 2K loves to hate the way they love to hate. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed the first video back after a long while, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, you know that red button down below called subscribe. Click that thing and click the bell right beside it to turn post notifications on. And lastly but not least, do me a favor. Go ahead and drop a comment down below telling me what you think about the build, what are the builds you want to see, and what are the videos you want to see. I'm going to give you a hint. The next player build we're making plays for one of the teams shown right here and went to college with one of the players shown right here. I'll give you a hint. He sent home another bum. Oh, I love these playoffs. Anyway, it's been your boy Alvin MB10, aka Air 10. I'll catch you in a bit. It's good to be back, baby. We out. Deuces.